Salah will get a second bite of it here. Elliott wants it, Elliott has it, and Elliott scores, and Elliott finishes it. What a turnaround from Liverpool, what a comeback from Liverpool. And Harvey Elliott scores here again to seal a big Liverpool win.
So 2 weeks to go until it all starts again. South Carolina is the final stop on this US preseason tour. It's some 500 miles from Philadelphia, 2 wins from 2, and the fine-tuning intensifies in front of another sellout crowd at a wet but muggy William Bryce Stadium, and renewing one of the biggest rivalries in the modern footballing era. Any Liverpool-Man United game is a must-watch, and tonight is no different. We are in another impressive venue for the game for you as well. 77,000 expected here at the home of the South Carolina Gamecocks. Ponchos have replaced the sun cream as thunderstorms broke earlier despite the 90-odd degree heat. But it's Manchester United v Liverpool. We've got the whole game live right here on LFC TV and LFC TV Go. A warm welcome to Matchday Live. Thanks for joining us. If you're watching on our social channels and not subscribing to either LFC TV or LFC TV Go, you'll need to check out video.liverpoolfc.com to sign up. That way you see this game and 2 Anfield games on the 11th of August, Sevilla and Las Palmas. The latter is behind closed doors at 5 o'clock, but our cameras will be there to broadcast it live. Video.liverpoolfc.com for more details. And just so you are aware at home, there are some severe thunderstorms that are forecast for this area of South Carolina. And as per the local severe weather policies, if there is a lightning strike within 8 miles of this stadium, the game will be delayed for at least half an hour. So everybody, including us, will have to vacate our positions very quickly. So this may impact our broadcast tonight. We'll keep you informed with updates to the status of the game as soon as we get the information. So it could be an eventful night. So no better people to have alongside us tonight than Lucas and John Barnes to steer us through it. It's been, Lucas, a great insight into how this new manager might work.
Yes, good night everyone in UK. Yes, I think the Arsenal game, we had a little bit of the insights, you know, how the team will play, you know, a lot of build-ups from the goalkeeper. But as well, I think they try to find the balance, the right balance to find the movement. And the first goal, it was a great insight, you know, a long ball and a great pass from Javi and a great finish from Mo.
What about you, John? What have you found most fascinating about it all?
Well, there's going to be a contrast between the way Jurgen plays, and of course this team has been used to Jurgen for the last 8 years. Very high pressure, high intensity to get the ball forward quickly. We've seen from the first game, Lucas obviously was at the second game, but from the first game, as much as we didn't have a centre forward, you see it's going to be a more considered build-up, moving the ball left to right. Yes, you will take chances, but probably not as many chances going forward as quickly as with Jurgen. And you can see why it'll suit players like Harvey Elliott, who set up the goal, the second goal for Carvalho, and Curtis Jones, who played really well. So for me, it's about the players interpreting what the manager wants, and it's going to be different from Jurgen. And the quicker the better. It's going to take time. We obviously have players to come back. So I think the first half of both games we kind of saw, because of course in the second half, once you make 8 changes and bring lots of people on, it's different. But I expect the same kind of approach in this, once again, the first half here, because I thought the first half against Betis, without a centre forward, we're okay. Arsenal were excellent. And of course tonight, a few more players are here. We'll have a better insight into it.
And I think as well, the second half of the Arsenal game, even with that many changes, I think the young lads, they defended really well. You know, they played for 15-20 minutes, a little bit under the pressure, but I think they defend really well. So it means that they worked on that as well, and which is very positive.
And that's of course is important, because of course we're always talking about how we play out in possession. and we're going to see a difference in terms of the way in possession to be a little bit slower, considered left to right and mid. But out of possession, we have to do what the opposition do. We have to counter them. So we can't say how we're going to play out of possession. We have to react to what Arsenal do. And as Lucas says, the young boys in the second half under pressure played really well defensively, organisationally, and in terms of the formation that they actually had. So he will learn a lot from those young players in the second half.
Two great cities that we were part of. First of all, this is a university town. You get the impression that lots of people have travelled far and wide to be here. The fact that there's going to be 77,000 here for a pre-season game, it's incredible.
Yeah, well, I can guarantee you that in Brazil we don't have a stadium like that for the first team players. So this is a college stadium, so it's amazing, and it's always like this in tours, you know, and see a sold-out stadium to watch a Liverpool game in America. It's amazing.
But college football's big. You have 70, 80,000 when the college team play, every time they play. So it's not necessarily, yes, Liverpool, Man United is going to be full, but when the South Carolina Gamecocks play, there's still 80,000.
The players have worked very hard. The sessions have been intense. There have been double sessions as well. Players will be ready for home now probably to get their rest in, but will they feel the benefit of this maybe a bit further on into the season, the work that they've done?
Absolutely, and maybe not even, as we may get a little bit wet now, not even from a physical point of view, because pre-season you train hard, but I think it's been very intense because he's got to get his idea across in terms of how he wants to implement his strategy and his style, and he's not got long. So, you know, after the way Jurgen Klopp has completely dominated his style on the team, he has to get this team playing in his style by the time the first game comes. So I think a lot of the double sessions are a lot of tactical work that they have to do.
Yeah, also we've heard that they've done a lot of meetings, and that's when he has the time really to do that, you know. The players are here 24/7, so let's make the most of it. And like John said, he needs to put all his ideas, even knowing that a lot of senior players are to come back. But these young players already have a great idea how he wants to play, and he will only get better. Touch wood, today, you know, they will finish the game, everyone's healthy. You know, that's the important thing as well about pre-season, and then a week to go to start the season.
Let's take a look at the Liverpool team then, shall we, for tonight. Dominic Szoboszlai not involved in this game tonight. We've seen the precautions taken before with Curtis Jones in the last game, but he was not involved yesterday. McAllister just involved in the rondos. So the two changes that we do see for Liverpool are that Ryan Gravenberch and Ibu Konate come into that starting 11. So a real strong look about Liverpool and how they might perhaps start this brand new season. So a few fewer players on the bench, you might say, but big night for Ryan Gravenberch and also Ibu Konate. So Keller in goal. It's Konate. Salah captains Liverpool again tonight. Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott continue, as does Diogo Jota in that number 9 position. Costas Tsimikas, Fabio Carvalho, Ryan Gravenberch, Jarell Quansah and Connor Bradley. Will be a real welcome part of this tour. He's only been here 3 or 4 days, Ryan Gravenberch, but he gets his first opportunity in front of his new manager.
Yeah, great game to come in. Of course, he might not play the full game or maybe play just a half, but another player that we are really looking forward to see this season. You know, last season was some up and down for him, so looking forward to see how he's going to adapt. And he's only been training for 3 days, but for sure he came back in a good shape, because otherwise they wouldn't play him today.
He said that he really enjoyed the switch off from football. We spoke about the tiredness that comes with players. He said the opportunity just to spend 3 weeks away from thinking about football. He feels so much better now coming into this pre-season.
And of course, you know, he was there in the Euros, and of course it didn't go particularly well. However, this is what you really want to be. This is where you want to be. You want to come into pre-season. You don't want to wait until a couple of weeks, the week before the season, and then start to play, because if he wants to have any chance of playing in the team, he has to start playing now. I don't know if he's going to play a full game. The interesting one for me is Konate, because of course Konate has been a fantastic signing, and once Matip left, you would have assumed that Konate and Virgil would have made that position their own. But in terms of what Quansah has done, and knowing how the manager wants to play, and knowing how good Quansah is on the ball, that's not a foregone conclusion. Everyone's thinking about Konate and Virgil when he comes back, because Virgil is going to come back. But I wouldn't be surprised if Quansah makes that position alongside Virgil his own, knowing what the manager wants.
I agree with John. We were talking before, you know, how confident he is, you know, on the ball. He probably play on the left today, so he gives alternative to Arn. And like John said, he's in a good shape. He's he's not scared to come out with the ball and play forward. So very, very good defending very quickly. So for sure, Konate, I don't think you just walk into the team. I think you have to show and work really hard for that.
There's a lot of those positions around the pitch that you're looking at now. Is that in your mind as a player now? This is the opportunity to make that starting 11 against Ipswich.
Yeah, it's always when a new manager, a new coach comes in, you know, everybody have a, you know, start from the zero. Of course, we have the senior players, we have, you know, the likes of Mo, Virgil, they will be starters, Alisson. But the likes of Konate, you know, I think he will be looking, I need to show myself here, and this game today is an opportunity for him, but also, you know, the next few games that before the season starts.
A player feels probably sorry for when the season starts is Conor Bradley. Because Conor Bradley, on different circumstances, could be in the team. But of course, with Trent, you mentioned the players to come back, Virgil. Trent is obviously someone who's going to come back. But Conor Bradley, every time he's played, he's impressed me. Pre-season, during the season, in training, you know, and on any other circumstance, he would have been a first-team starter for most teams in the Premier League. So that's a big decision. But I think, obviously, Trent will come back in. But I think Conor Bradley is definitely going to be pushing him.
Fabio Carvalho is another one, isn't he, Lucas? It was a little bit of intrigue that met him coming back from a really successful loan. Left side of that front three, he'll be looking to make that position his own. Yeah,
Carvalho is another example that when senior players are missing, you know, you give a chance to young players to come in and do well, and I think he's done that. You know, the goal, of course, he scored against Arsenal, but also the way he moves, you know, the way he finds position. You know, we know he likes to come inside sometimes, but he's a clever player. We can see that, and in the Arsenal game we could see, and it's a great chance and again to start a game, you know, against Man United, and I think he's been showing that he's able to be in the squad for this season.
Yeah, but the problem he has, of course, once you've got Luis Diaz, Nunes, Jota, you have a lot of people, Gravenberch, who you'd probably say are ahead of him. But once again, in terms of the way that the manager wants to play, I think that he will suit that more than a lot of those. But it's a big call if you're going to put him in ahead of them. But he hasn't done himself any harm.
How big a thing is momentum, though, to be in that starting berth? As John said, Diaz will come back late. They will need a little bit of time to get going.
Momentum is great, you know. Of course, pre-season we try to not speak too much about results, you know, but it's always important to win, and tonight is the same, you know. And like I said, a lot of players will come back late, and these young lads, they are showing a really good way of understanding, especially the way that Arne wants to play. So let's keep this momentum. I hope that you know, they have a great game today and keep it going towards the beginning of the season.
I don't think Arne's made his mind up yet. Of course, we're talking about the Diaz and the Nuneses, and he's obviously in the back of his mind thinking, yes, they're big players, they're the first-team players, but depending on what people like Harvey Elliott, Gerald Kwanzaa, you know, Carvalho does, because in the last two pre-season games, the game against Sevilla, if they show, and I don't know whether the other boys will come in for that game, if they show that they have really moved on from even this pre-season, I wouldn't be surprised if he puts them in even ahead of them, knowing that he can use the excuse that, okay, they're not 100% fit, they can come in, and if they're going to do well, they'll stay there.
And let's not forget, he's a manager, a coach that worked a lot with young players, you know, and developed them. So I'm sure he's really excited what he's been seeing from the young lads from the club.
The way he's selecting these, the teams that we've seen so far, it's almost like he's going with the experience first, because he needs to get those ideas into these players quickly, rather than maybe experiment with a mix and match of players.
No, listen, we cannot forget that the Premier League will start soon, and of course you have to use that mix. You know, senior players as important, they are really important, and the likes of Konate, you know, he needs game time to be in the right fitness level to start a game in 2 weeks' time. So, of course, but I'm sure they've been training a lot, you know, a lot of double sessions, and I'm sure that, you know, he's analyzing these young players as well. So, let's see.
The tactical work they're doing is in training, because you can't do much tactical work once the game's on, because you have to play the game, and if you have to react to do something different. So I think that he didn't want to put the young lads under pressure by putting them in the game and say, this is what we have to do tactically. But, of course, double sessions on the computer, the meetings they're having, that's when he's really doing his work. And then bringing the young players on in the second half, go on play without any real pressure of continuing his tactical finesse, if you like. Just takes the pressure off them. But I'm sure they're eager to really get involved.
The one thing that a lot of them are saying is that there's an emphasis almost on perfection, in that he is really expectant of these players this season. Everything has to be perfect in training. That's probably exhausting mentally as well, isn't it, for players trying to learn a new idea?
Yeah, of course. Always when a new idea comes in, you know, you have to adapt quickly. I think the senior players, they are used to it because they go to the national team. They have to switch, you know, from another coach. But that's the time, like I said, you know, they are 24/7 here. And that's the time when he can really work, you know, with videos, with meetings, in training session, because as soon as the Premier League starts, we know they have a very little of time, you know, to prepare the game. So the ideas has to be very clear in their minds.
And it's a big difference. You talk about heavy metal football, whereby he will forgive you mistakes if you give effort, commitment, and drive. Whereas I think that he wants to be much more considered and much more technical. So I don't think he'll forgive you playing heavy metal football and giving the ball away in certain areas, whereas Jurgen would. And that's going to take such a big difference. It takes some getting used to. That is why all the sessions that they're doing, the double sessions, is really about getting that home to them. Yes, we still have to play with the intensity, but just a little bit more care in terms of when the balls go forward, long passes, and what we do when we press.
We've seen the build-up, you know, the first half against Arsenal, you know, some of the build-ups we almost concede, and I think that he will be analyzing and showing the players that you have to find a balance, of course, you know, playing from the back, but without any risk, let's say that way. So it takes time, but I'm sure the players will get there and will understand.
One thing that the players will be very happy about is the climate here at the moment. It's been close to 95 degrees in places across South Carolina, but now with the rain that come a little bit earlier on, we hope no more thunder and lightning. But it has been a really important part of the world for Liverpool. The Reds' final game of this US tour, but the pre-season campaign doesn't end tonight. For all of that, we've got you covered right here on LFC TV.
Left-footed, great ball.
Watch every pre-season game live.
Everything LFC, all in one place.
Yeah, LFC TV and LFC TV Go, the only places you can see all of Liverpool's remaining pre-season games live, including the behind closed doors game against Las Palmas. For details of how you can subscribe, head to video.liverpoolfc.com. Now, pre-season is a numbers game for us. The Reds have travelled over 4,400 miles, taking in 3 cities. Along the way, there's been 14 training sessions so far, 2 games played in front of 112,000 fans, all of which took place in well over 90-degree heat. It's been tiring, it's been gruelling, but it's also been an awful lot of fun too.
I feel like the lads are coping really well, you know, especially with the style of play. It's really enjoyable to play in, and it's a great opportunity to learn things, and to do it out here, it's great.
After 2 weeks of training, are always excited and curious to see what we can bring from the sessions we had towards the game. But I'm hoping to see the right intensity without the ball, and if we have the ball, that we are patient and we can control the game.
This is the first proper game that we're going to have. Big turnout today from the fans, so yeah, we're all excited to get going. And yeah, like you say, it's kind of the start of the pre-season now, and hopefully we can start with a good result and a good performance.
The aim as we set off on the long goal journey again is to take silverware back to Anfield yet again. With Salah. Salah slide, there you go. Lovely finish. From Bradley. It's a decent save from Adrian. That's a lovely ball. There's a bump in the back of Elliott. Amazing little dribbler, and that's going to go through towards Blair. Goalkeeper makes the challenge, and then across the face of goal from Gordon, and no one's there to turn it home. goes on, and the goalkeeper again has to get down. Win number 1 of pre-season is completed for Arne Slot and his coaching team.
Yeah, in the first half we controlled the game, I think, but many easy wins for us to make if you look at this game. The choices we sometimes make with the ball can and will be much better in the future, and in between I think we've created 5-6 good attacks, and the goal was, I think, a fantastic example of that.
We're working tirelessly on the pitch, and on the training pitch especially. I think there's been a lot of double sessions that it's just so much tactical work and so much stuff we need to take in, and we're doing that. And yeah, like I say, hopefully bit by bit it'll come.
Different experience, obviously, new coach and stuff, but like good to get away with the lads, and I've enjoyed it so far. Yeah, it's been good. I think you don't realise when you're in it how much you miss it when you're out of it, to be fair. So obviously it's just good to be back involved with it, to be honest.
It's good, obviously different with a new manager, new routine, new staff. It's my first time as well in America in the tour, so it's very exciting to see what the pre-season brings.
Just finished the training session. Obviously all the fans are here, they've been brilliant all session, and now really looking forward to the game in a couple of days, and it's obviously a lovely place to play football.
You're much.
You here. You know, me and Gio, who are going to be running your training today.
Boss. Hey, camera, where's the camera here, man? On. Wait, that's more minutes of all the players. In the oh, yeah. There we go. Thank you, man. I'll tell you what. Oh, go up, sprint. Hands will follow you. Just as will follow you.
Yeah, you go. I will follow you.
Well, Liverpool against Arsenal always throws up some corkers, and 2 very strong starting 11s as well from both Arne Slot and Mikel Arteta. It's a lovely ball. Salah from Harvey Elliott runs in on goal and scores wonderfully well. Oh, that is the archetypal Liverpool goal. It's given away. Liverpool have won it high on towards Diogo Jota. Szoboszlai, great feet in the tight area, and that's for Fabio Carvalho. Well, Liverpool are just lighting up Philadelphia here. That is absolutely special. Again delivered across, it's going to come to Odegaard. That's a lovely piece of skill, and the touch in, and Arsenal do reduce the deficit through Kai Havertz. That's Partey, that's Fabio Vieira, and that's a good save. It's Liverpool's night in Philadelphia.
Yeah, one more game to go, and it's a big one. Let's hear from Arne Slot ahead of the final game in this US tour. Is first against Manchester United.
Arne, I'm sure you watched plenty of Liverpool Man United games in the past, but now you're involved in it. How much are you looking forward to it in this wonderful setting?
It is a wonderful setting. It's a big stadium. Many fans already arrived before we came here, so it's a nice setting. Although it's a friendly game, I don't think it will feel like a friendly game today.
And just in terms of the game, is it a case of building on the stuff you did right against Arsenal, especially in that first half?
Yeah, we hope to do this, but the Arsenal team and the United team are almost non-comparable, completely different playing style. So I'm hoping we can do good with and without the ball again. We're expecting that, but the opponent is, of course, different players, but also different playing style.
There's no Dominic Szoboszlai in the squad this evening. Can you explain the reason behind that?
Yes, I can. I think it's our 13th day now here at the tour. Dominic joined every session and every game. We played the last one 2 days ago, so I think it's a bit of fatigue, and we don't want to take any risk because we fly back to Liverpool tonight, and Tuesday all the other players arrive as well. So we want to start off then with all the players available, and we didn't want to take any risk with him today.
Enjoy the game. Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to this test tonight in front of what will be a massive crowd, around 77,000 people. He knows that he's going to face a completely different test tonight, which he's really looking forward to, seeing how his team comes up against United. What kind of test will they present, do you think? Are they going to sit in and try and absorb Liverpool?
Well, it's hard to say, you know. I think they will. I think they probably will try to play, you know. They try to put under pressure, but I think we have to wait. Of course, fitness level is not the best yet, so I think both teams will have chances.
He'll be giving them a whole new set of instructions, perhaps, for a different playing style that he's expecting from Arsenal.
Yes, but of course I'm not even sure he will know that, because of course Man United, if you look at the team, lots of different players pre-season, can play in many different ways. But of course there are two things in football: what you do in possession, and he knows what he wants it to do in possession. Out of possession, he won't know how Manchester United are going to play, so you have to react. So therefore he'll be looking at the players to then adapt to whatever, when they haven't got the ball, whatever comes their way. Because he hasn't been able to analyse Manchester United in pre-season, because just like us, I'm sure they played many different ways, many different teams, but he'd still be looking for them to adapt when they haven't got the ball to whatever problems Manchester United pose.
Dominic Szoboszlai, just precautionary, Lucas, that he's left out tonight. A bit of fatigue, which is good news. Like you said before, this is the priority, to keep them all healthy.
Yeah, like Curtis Jones had a couple of days off, you know, without training and recovering, and then he was able to play the game. Pre-season is all about being fit and be healthy, and I think we just hope that it's just precaution, that you know, for the next few days he'll be back training and ready to go.
You'll see the new training strip out there as well. Liverpool will be in green and black tonight. We've been trying to work out the intricacies of what kind of shade, but we'll just go with green for now. He's a player that captains Liverpool again tonight, John, and to get the goal-scoring feeling that he got against Arsenal will make him feel an extra bit special from this
Of course, the Arsenal
summer.
game suited him more, didn't it? Because, of course, with playing a striker when Jota was on, before when it was just the two of them, it's difficult for you because, of course, you've got two centre-backs, unless one of the centre-back pushes out, which they weren't. So, but against Arsenal, he showed what he could do with the goal he scored. But, yeah, he's the leader, he's our captain. But it's once again just a question of just keep going. You know, here you can see this is where, was that Jota? We're showing João Quansah. I think we're showing we're showing all the qualities that Quansah has, and this came from the back. I mean, it's a long build-up for us. It's like watching the whole game again.
It was a team goal, though, and he really credited the goalkeeper for this, John.
Well, of course, because the goalkeeper doesn't just kick it off, but you can see when they press high, you do kick it long. A great ball by Harvey. What you're trying to do is you're trying to encourage people to come onto you. Then if you kick it long, the centre-forward can hold it up because you have that space. If you're not going to try and play, they won't come onto you. You'll just kick it long, you'll lose it. So as much as you're being pressed, you still have to be brave enough to try and play through, and then knowing when to hit it long at the right time. So he's not saying don't hit long balls, but he's saying if the pass is on short, do it. If it's not, then he can go long.
Like I said before, you know, find the balance. You know, he wants to play from the back, but sometimes teams will come pressing and leave space behind, and was a typical goal that, you know, Jota holds the ball very well. With two passes, they were in front of the goal, and of course, the running from Mo, he saw the space, and what a finish. You know, I think we never feel that he's unfit. That's incredible from Mo. So he comes back from holidays, and he still feels like he's very fit, so fair play to him. He's a great professional.
You mentioned Szoboszlai earlier. I think it's going to be very important, because when you talk about a midfield player, you're looking at Harvey Elliott, you know, you're looking at Carvalho, who you say, well, this football may suit them more than the old Fabinho and Henderson, whereas Szoboszlai can do both. He can play in a Jurgen Klopp team who's just very aggressive, but he's also a very technical player. So he, for me, is one who can easily do both.
And the goal that he scored against Betis is a fantastic goal by number 8, a box-to-box player, you know. Link up very well with Mo, little run inside the box and finish, so he can do both.
He didn't really like the first 10 minutes of the game, Arne Slot against Arsenal, because Liverpool was surviving. The half hour in the first half, they were really impressive, dominating the ball. What he really liked was the second half, where they had to survive moments against Arsenal. That control that he's trying to preach in this team now.
Yeah, I think John said before, you know, defensively is very important, you know, and I think he's working a lot, you know, to not concede. We mentioned the second half, how they could handle the pressure, and that's how he's working as well, you know, very narrow the lines, you know, don't give space between the lines, and if they want to play, they play from the outside, and which makes easier to defend.
You might have seen Alexis McAllister walk behind us just a few moments ago, not involved in this game tonight, and he'll hope to train when Liverpool get back to Merseyside. We talked about Carvalho before, John, and team goals. The second goal the other night was a true team goal. It started at left back.
Absolutely, and it was a great ball by Harvey Elliott. But if you looked at the first game in him against Betis, he was making a lot of out-in runs. Here you can see as the ball comes across. You see where he is, he's in the field, and when the ball comes across, he's going to make an out, although he's still just on the edge of the box, and this run is fantastic. Now, against Betis, in the first half he was making a lot of those runs, but standing on the touchline and then making those in-runs to going on goal. Not from these areas, but he loves coming in field. There you can see a great ball, great run by him, but he loves those runs because, of course, he's not left-footed. He's not a winger who's going to go down and cross with his left foot, so he's always looking to come inside, either from a wide position or from an inside left position.
Yeah, this is a great movement, you know. It's we know he likes to come inside and lick up, and he comes, drop, don't get the ball, and do the opposite, the other movement, and Harvey Elliott finds a fantastic pass. So I really like Carvalho the other day.
And I think he's improved a lot on that, because we know he'd always like to come inside with the ball, not a lot without the ball. He only was with the ball a couple of years ago and then come inside dribbling, but the amount of runs he now makes without the ball to be played in means he's shown a big improvement in his game.
How impressed have you been with Harvey Elliott this summer pre-season?
Very impressed. I think he ended up the last season in a really good moment. You know, I remember Jurgen mentioned that he wished he could have played more, you know, Harvey. You know, he's an established player already, but so young, so big season for him, and I think he will, you know, the way Arne wants to play, I think it suits him a lot. You know, he just finds that little pocket and 2 assists the other day, so I hope he keeps healthy, you know. Last season he had some injuries, so, and looking forward to see, because, you know, he's got already the experience, and I think with the new ideas, I think he will improve even more.
Do you think he's going to be at the centre of this new Arne Slot team, Harvey Elliott?
Well, of course, when you talk about the centre, when you have people like Mo and still have people like Szoboszlai, but he can play a big part. Himself and Curtis. Curtis will probably have a bigger role than Harvey, to be honest with you, because Curtis seems to be enjoying it. And Curtis, the type of midfield player is probably easier for him than for Harvey, because Harvey is still one of the front three, one of the midfield threes, more attacking. And I think he has much more competition than Curtis has to be one of the 3 midfield positions. But he's done himself no harm with his performances so far.
And it looks as though I mean, we're talking about a new style and a new manager, but it feels a bit like evolution rather than revolution. It's not like it needs massive work doing on it, but we are seeing those subtle differences now.
No, I think, like I said, Arne got a very strong team, you know, a very strong base. Of course, he will touch a little bit with his new ideas, but last year, you know, the team did really well. The last 5 weeks, until the last 5 weeks of the season, Liverpool could have won all the titles. So he will change a little bit because the way he sees football. But like you said, it's an evolution. You know, it's just to see if these players, especially the young players, can develop even more.
Yeah, it can't be a revolution. Because if it's a revolution, you're not going to get the best out of Mo, Luis Diaz, Nunes. They are still players who play in the Jurgen Cup. He wants to be dynamic, wants to get forward quickly. So
not legs as well.
Keep your legs close. But of course, if you want to get the best, and he saw Mo's goal. So it's not going to be typical Dutch revolution. It's going to be, yes, we're going to do both. So they'll mix it up, but he still have to be very dynamic and go forward quickly at times.
Right, we are around half an hour away from the live action getting underway here on LFC TV and LFC TV Go. We're the only place you'll see the remaining fixtures in Liverpool's pre-season preparations, as well as all the build-up and analysis that you need. For details of how you can subscribe, head to video.liverpoolfc.com. And a quick reminder of the Reds who got the nod for the team tonight. The starting 11 for Liverpool contains a couple of changes to the team last time out. There is just a precautionary measure where Szoboszlai is concerned. He's not involved in this starting 11 for tonight. But what we do see is Ibu Konate come in to the side, and also Ryan Gravenberch as well. So 2 changes to that Liverpool team. As for Manchester United, a bit further ahead in their pre-season as far as games played is concerned. 4 games so far, and what you will see is amongst their starting lineup an absence of so many players who picked up injuries so far this season as well. So Onana in goal, it's Lindelof, Mason Mount, Marcus Rashford, who did have an injury but seemingly has recovered from that. Diallo, who seemingly has been the standout player for them. Casemiro captains Manchester United tonight. Sancho back in favour again. Wan-Bissaka, Johnny Evans, Harry Amas and Toby Collier as well as the starting 11 for Manchester United tonight. What kind of Man United are we expecting this season, John?
Well, I'm sure they'll be hoping for a consistent one. They'll look at the game against Manchester City in the last game and take a lot of heart from that. However, playing against Manchester City in the last game, they got back, defended in numbers, allowed Man City to have ball possession. The problem they have is when they play as Manchester United in the league, they can't play that way. They have to be more attacking, and that's when they get caught in the counter-attack because they're not a very compact side. So I think they'll still have the problems because I think they're going to be inconsistent, mainly because of the whole issue surrounding, you know, the manager and the problems at the club, rather than just concentrating on what's on. So they're still a good team with good players, but until they get that whole managerial situation whereby he's here for 2, 3, 4 years, I think they'll always have those problems.
Seemingly, though, that managerial situation's been sorted out. He got a new contract in the summer.
Well, until the next defeat.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm alluding to, really. Are we going to see a team that is engulfing crisis again, or will we see a bit more consistency about the team?
Well, like John said, you know, the team needs to find consistency. Otherwise, you know, in a month's time, you know, people will be talking about was it right to give the manager a new contract? You know, of course, they won the cup. They end up the season winning a trophy, but you know, I watched so much of United last year, and like John said, it was a game that they were really good, but then after 3 days, they were a completely different team. So you cannot carry on a season like that. So for sure, they are hoping for a consistent season.
That comes from the fans. That comes from the fans 100%. Because, of course, and as Jurgen Klopp himself said, and I've said all along, regardless of what we do against Ipswich, the fans have to stay with the manager, then the players will perform. Once the fans start to turn against the manager, so it's not so much the players, it's the fans. So if Man United lose a couple of games and the fans start to boo the manager, that'll go onto the pitch. So the fans have the biggest part to play in accepting Arne Slot and also the Manchester United manager.
Be great intrigue in Holland about these 2 managers next season. Which out of the 2, the most up-and-coming managers, will be the one that finishes out on top tactically?
Well, I think they know each other very well, you know, and I think Liverpool today, of course, we never know in football, but today Liverpool have a more consistent team, a clear idea how to play, and we just hope it continues like that. Of course, United signed so many players, some already got injured, so it's a little bit unlucky, but that's how football is. They have to find a way.
And it's easier for Arne Slot. He's coming from a position of support. Everybody, the fans, everybody. There's still all question marks over Ten Hag, unfairly so in my opinion, but as long as all question marks are there, he's coming from a harder position than Arne Slot.
There is going to be a surprise package this season, isn't there, amongst the teams that we're already used to seeing, you know, the top 3.
Well, I think a surprise package is maybe like Villa, 4th. I don't think a slight surprise package in the 1st, 2nd or 3rd. Of course, you have Newcastle, you got Villa, you got Man United. Is that a surprise package? So I think the surprises will come between 4 and 6, not between the first 3. I'll be very surprised if that happened.
Right, well, there's been a great atmosphere around here already tonight. We are expecting somewhere close to 77,000. It's nearly full over this side already. There's been rain, there's been thunderstorms, there's been really high temperatures. But one thing that is always evident in these games out in the US is what they call tailgating. They bring their tellies, their PlayStations, their barbecues, and they've been out all day building up to this atmosphere. And Tash Dowie has been out to meet a few of them.
So I am with, what group am I with? Nashville Cup. Okay, and how far exactly have you guys travelled to get here today to watch Liverpool play?
11 hours from DC.
11 hours. Okay, so no, you need to explain to me exactly how you got here, the route, you know, how you did it. Tell me.
So we drove from DC after 5 o'clock, right after work, went right to her place in Greer, South Carolina, and then did another 2 hours into Columbia.
Wow, okay, this is some serious commitment. Have any of you not watched Liverpool play before? Put your hand up. Oh, we got a newbie. Okay, so how excited are you to watch Arnie Slot's Liverpool?
I've been since I've got the tickets, which was back in March. So this has been really probably when I go in there. I know I haven't even been to Anfield yet. So this right here is going to be emotional.
I love this. Okay, final question, guys. Score prediction. What are we saying?
7-0. 7-0.
Yes, okay. Here we go.
Yeah, well done, Tash. Let's get a final word from the Liverpool dressing room now and the thoughts of Conor Bradley ahead of tonight's game. Yeah, seems to be a problem with that interview with Conor Bradley at the moment, but he is a player, Conor Bradley, that you've been excited to see more of in training this year. That second season syndrome, which a few players will be facing this year, breaking through is one thing, staying there is another.
Well, it was a great surprise last year, you know, when he started, and then we didn't know what we were getting from him, and he's been so consistent, and what a fullback, you know, I would say he's a very modern fullback because he can defend, but he can attack really well. So, like John said, you know, of course Trent is the vice captain, a fantastic player, but he'll have to show a lot as well this year that his position is him, because Conor is doing a fantastic preseason, but also did a fantastic season last year.
He is a bit of a throwback to the old days because, of course, as Lucas rightly says, everybody's talking about attacking fullbacks, how good they are coming forward. But, of course, he does come forward in a different way on the overlap, but he comes inside, he doesn't go and play midfield. But defensively, the first thing he wants to do is defend. You know, we have fullbacks who want to attack, and defending is a bit of a byproduct. But you can see he doesn't want anyone to get by him, doesn't want to put crosses in. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's Trent's position. But every time he's played, and he's not really broken through, because he only plays when Trent isn't going to play. But he's well capable of taking over from Trent.
Right, we've got that interview ready for you now. Let's hear a word from Conor Bradley in the lead up to this one tonight.
Conor, Premier League opposition, testing temperatures and conditions. It seems like a really good way to prepare for the season ahead.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Obviously, it should be a good game. Obviously, United are a good team, so yeah, really looking forward to it. Hopefully, get more minutes in the legs, and yeah, should be a good test.
Judging from that Arsenal game, it seems like you're finding what the head coach wants really well, and it's all starting to click a bit more, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. I think everyone knew it was going to take time for it to sort of click and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely coming together now, and hopefully we can put on more good performance, put what he wants us to do into the game, and yeah, hopefully get the win.
It's the final game of this tour. Just how beneficial has it been on the pitch with the training sessions and also off it, you know, bonding as a team and everything that comes with that?
No, obviously it's been brilliant. Obviously getting away with the team at any stage is really good, and obviously it makes us gel a bit more together and get to know each other a bit better. So no, it's been really good and it's been really enjoyable.
Enjoy tonight.
Yeah, he's becoming so cool, calm and collect, even in interviews now. Conor Bradley, massive season ahead for him. John saying there before that he's playing in Trent's position. Is it Trent's position still? Is that something that Arne Slot will already be convinced of, whether they can play in the same team?
I think so. I don't think Arne looking the structure and how he likes to play to keep their position. You know, I don't see Trent playing midfield. or he can start in midfield but not playing like he was last year, maybe coming inside, you know, making a man more, you know, on midfield. I think he'll be more as a fullback, you know, looking his position, and of course we know he can have a great effect, you know, with his passes, and he looking the game from behind and looking for assists. So I think he will play as a fullback and not losing much his position. I don't know what John thinks.
No, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. This inverted fullback position, and when Trent goes in there, because when you make passes, as Lucas knows, from that position, people say, what a great play in midfield making these passes. He creates much more from a right-back position. He can see the full picture. He creates more going down the line. He creates more putting crosses in, rather than playing in that inverted role where he's in there and making one or two passes for people to run onto. He's much more creative out there, and I'm sure that Arne Slot isn't going to be like Pep Guardiola. And of course, with Zinchenko at Arsenal, which came from Pep Guardiola via Arteta, we've kind of like copied that, but I don't think Arne Slot is going to do that. So I think we'll see more as a traditional right-back.
Yeah, we can see that, you know, Arne structure, you know, he likes all the midfield to get on the ball, play short passes. Yeah. And Trent, we know, you know, he can find the long pass very easily. And playing as a fullback, he has even more time on the ball. So he can look for that passes behind the defense, you know, for the likes of Mo and the other players. So I think he will stay, you know, in as a fullback, not like last year, but like the previous year.
He will see this as a big test tonight, friendly or not. Big crowd here, live TV audience as well. What new test will he set for this team? What will he want to see a little bit more of tonight, do you think?
I think for sure he's looking for improvement. You know, probably they analyze the game, you know, against Arsenal, against Betis, you know, and another step ahead in the right direction. You know, of course, it's a friendly game, but it's never really a friendly against United. So for sure the players, they are looking forward to finish the pre-season in a really good moment, and we hope that will happen.
But as much as this is the last game, I think on paper the Arsenal game was a more difficult game. Looking at the players the Arsenal put out, particularly in the first half, that was nearly an Arsenal first team. I've looked at the Man United team out there. I don't really recognise a lot of those names. There's Eriksen and Casemiro, but apart from that, so as much as yet it's Manchester United, I think the game against Arsenal, where they played a lot of their big players, I think that obviously it's still going to be a test, but I think that was more telltale. That was more telling, that performance in the first half against something close to Arsenal's first team with all the players, than this Man United game.
There was a game you might remember, we actually showed it live in Singapore a couple of years ago, where Man United beat Liverpool 4-0. It didn't go down well at all, and it actually creeps into the season that sometimes, and it did that year.
Yeah, of course, a heavy defeat is never good, you know, especially against a rival, you know, but I'm sure the team now is in a better shape than it was when lost 4-0. So, yeah, like I said, pre-season is about fitness, everyone to get healthy as well, come back in a good shape. And of course, start a new game today with improvement. I think that's what Arne is looking forward to.
I think there's a plan for a day off on Monday, John, but he'll be really looking forward to getting the senior players back in that haven't been part of this camp, because, like we alluded to before, time's running out now, and he's a workaholic. He's going to want to spend time with them.
And of course, getting back to the training ground in Liverpool, getting back to basics, if you like, because it's still a tour. Lots of razzmatazz, lots of stuff going on. You want to get back to your home and do a lot of work, particularly with the players coming back. You've got to integrate them into a new style, because they've not been here at all. Yes, McAllister's here and Gravenbach, but the rest of them have to come back and get used to that. So the quicker they can get back, the better.
Also, for those of you watching on our social channels, thanks for being with us on the build-up so far. You need to subscribe, though, to LFC TV and LFC TV Go. Live coverage of Manchester United is fast approaching. There was a very famous game in Michigan a couple of years ago. I can remember the big aerial shot from the stadium, over 100,000 there that day, and we witnessed a very special goal as well from Xherdan Shaqiri. Let's give you a reminder, every excuse to show this from years gone by. And he was fighting to get back in Liverpool's team at this point, and then this happens. And they still remember him for that in the USA. We'll settle for a goal like that today, that's for sure.
What a goal.
I've seen Lucas do that a few times.
Looks like John Barnes on those days, you know. I wouldn't be in that position, so I have no chance to score that goal.
Well, listen, part of the splendour of grounds like this is the American national anthem. Let's sample that live right now.
Watch every preseason game live.
Everything LFC all in one place.
Make sure that you use your whole body and you